So Hasbro's HasLab Rancor Kickstarter campaign has failed. It did not achieve the correct level of backers for the project to go into production. And what I kind of want to discuss today is some of the reasons why I think it didn't reach its funding goal. And I also want to send a message to Hasbro as to some of the things they could do better. Now, I don't know if they listen to a YouTube channel like mine, but when we're talking in the region of 9,000 backers and it reached about 8,200, and yet I've got a video out about the Rancor that reached 12,000 people, and Retroblasting has a video that reached 22,000 people. I'm not taking any credit for this, and I actually didn't care if it got funded or not. What I really wanted was for a change to happen within Hasbro, a change, even if they don't want to go away from the HasLab model, which I'm not a fan of. But even if they want to stick with that model, there are much better ways that you can engage your target audience, engage your consumer, and deliver what they want. Something that they seem to fail on. I wouldn't say time and time again. A lot of HasLab projects have been fully funded, but I believe that they have, particularly with the Star Wars Black Series line, that they have become complacent, and they're resting on the laurels of prior successes. But that complacency made this campaign completely nosedive. So let's discuss some of these issues in this video today. Stay tuned.
Come with me, toy fans.
This video is proudly brought to you by Valaverse, the creative company behind the most exciting new action figure range available on the market today, Action Force. Make sure you visit the Valaverse.com website to purchase your amazing Action Force comics, toys, and other products. And follow Valaverse on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook to keep up to date with the latest product news. All the links are in the description below. Shop Valaverse, because it's time for action. Hey toy fans, my name is Tony and welcome back to the Analog Toys YouTube channel. Now, first of all, the campaign today did not reach its funding goal. The funding goal was 9,000 backers. Had they have achieved that goal of 9,000 backers, that would have generated over $3 million for Hasbro to produce the Rancor. But that's without any of the unlocked tiers. So this toy was priced at $350. So I truly believe that the first issue Hasbro needs to address is their price points, because the basic package originally was just the Rancor alone. $350. Okay, it's a lot bigger than this one, but that's a lot of money for one figure. And I say one figure because that's the terminology that the Hasbro marketing team were using in all of their promotional videos. The biggest Star Wars Black Series figure they've ever created. And how did they fumble such a simple slam dunk? When it comes to the adult collector, and let's be honest, HasLab is aimed at the adult collector. There aren't children out there telling their parents, hey mum, for Christmas, I want a HasLab Rancor. I know I'm going to have to wait 18 months to get it, but you know, just give me an IOU under the Christmas tree and I'll be happy. They're not doing that. This is for the adult collector. The 6-inch scaled Star Wars Black Series is the most popular Star Wars toy line for the adult collector. And a lot of people wanted this as a centerpiece of their collection. So how did Hasbro F this up so badly? Had they have reached the 9,000 backer goal, that would have brought in $3 million in revenue. But the original toy offered was just the Rancor. It was a very last-ditch attempt to get more people on board because the campaign had been quite disastrous for them after collectors were very vocally upset with the second, third and fourth tiers announced. If it had have just reached the 9,000 backers, all we would have gotten is the Rancor and Malakili, the Rancor Keeper. And if you ask me, and ask yourselves this, was that really worth $350? If you ask me, that's a $200 toy, maybe $250. As a matter of fact, I would have been happy if they'd have brought it in at the $229 Sky Striker mark. But originally, we weren't getting the Rancor Keeper. They were asking us to pay $350 for one big figure. Now, if they were to reach all of the unlocked tiers, so we've got a Gamorrean Guard that's been on clearance, a figure we've already got, Salacious Crumb, another figure we've already got, a Jedi Luke, okay, it was completely new tooling, but they've done a pretty decent Jedi Luke already. And all they're really offering us is card backs and coins. When, hey, when you're a 6-inch collector, you're not really an in-box collector. Most of them, anyway. I think they're loose collectors, so the card backs and coins don't mean anything. And then one of the tiers was a cardboard backdrop and some bones. The cardboard backdrop and the bones, and I'm talking directly to you, Hasbro, the decision makers at Hasbro. The cardboard backdrop should have been part of the box, and the bones should have been included with the Rancor off the bat. That is not an unlocked tier. When do you sell any Black Series, just a general retail release Black Series figure, and not give it an accessory? The bones were the Rancor's accessories. The cardboard backdrop and the bones should be part of the basic package. And it should have been nowhere near $350. But had all of the unlocked tiers been achieved, we would have reached over $6 million. $6.65 million in sales. Had we have reached 19,000 backers. I know there are some idiot people on the internet who claim to be toy experts who are putting videos out saying, Hasbro doesn't care if this fails or not. Well, they've got no facts to back this up. That's an opinion disguised as a fact. I don't necessarily believe that's true. But even if Hasbro as a company are not worried about whether this succeeds or fails, the people on the Star Wars Black Series team certainly care whether it succeeds or fails. Because this is the first Black Series HasLab. Yes, they had success with the Sail Barge and the Razor Crest. But you are only as good as your last performance. And I don't know whether it's that they got complacent and they were resting on their laurels, but what they presented to the consumer was a massive disappointment. And the consumer voted with their dollar, they did not back it, and it failed. And it doesn't matter, and I'm not even sure if the Black Series Star Wars team, the 6-inch scale team, is the same team that did the Sail Barge and the Razor Crest. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But even if they were, let's just say it's one team. The Sail Barge was a success. The Razor Crest was a success. Great. Now you got lazy and this failed, and the board of directors will want to know why. Potentially even Lucasfilm will want to know why, and I really wonder how Hasbro are going to react to this. But then again, maybe Lucasfilm are getting used to disappointment. At the end of the day, as I said in my last video, I really couldn't give a shit if this was funded or not. All I wanted is to be a consumer advocate, because I was seeing the opinions expressed by my fellow collectors on online social media forums, and a lot of them were really disappointed with the unlocked tiers for this campaign, the way it was rolled out, like not even having a grey model at the initial launch, just some unpainted digital renderings. And those people who think that, oh, well, it didn't get funded, Hasbro don't care, they'll move on because this didn't cost any money. Before the campaign ended, they had a physical grey model. They'd done all of this digital rendering. They'd worked on, concepts for 4 unlock tiers. They were going to start work on another figure. For those of you who think that doesn't cost any money, it does. To get the grey model made, that takes tooling. I've heard that a standard 6-inch figure like the Gamorrean Guard here, a figure that's been on clearance but was the first unlock tier, great. How can you unlock a tier that's a figure that's already been on clearance? But I'm digressing. And I'm neither happy or sad whether this was funded or not. I wasn't even interested in backing it. What I am sincerely pleased about is that a community of collectors allowed their collective voice to be heard. They voted with their dollar and they said, no, this isn't good enough. We're not going to give in to FOMO, an expression that, if you don't understand it, don't feel bad. I only learnt what it was 2 weeks ago. It's the fear of missing out. You didn't sit there and go, oh, well, I'm really unhappy with all of these tiers and the price point, but I'm going to get it because I'm scared that I'm going to be the only person who doesn't get the Star Wars Black Series Rancor. And you went, no, I'm not having this anymore. And it's not something I've really seen in the modern toy collecting community for a long time, is those collectors banding together and sending Hasbro a message. So if I can offer Hasbro any advice on behalf of the consumer, it would be drop the ridiculously high price point. This should have come in at between $200 and $250, not $350. Don't add tiers that we already have. Don't make the first unlock tier a fucking Gamorrean Guard that you can buy on clearance. Everyone's got it and no one cares about a card back and a coin. As a consumer, I shouldn't have to tell you this, but launching 3 HasLab campaigns at the same time that are all ending just a few weeks before Christmas, whoever greenlit that idea should fire themselves. My final piece of advice to Hasbro, and I don't care if you listen or not, but my final piece of advice is engage with the fans at a much earlier stage. Don't wait for the backlash of them not being happy with Bones, another Luke and Salacious Crumb, and then try and backpedal and go, oh, we're going to give you the Rancor Keeper, even though you don't know what it looks like. Engage with them earlier on. Now, I do understand that when Hasbro or HasLab presents these new campaigns, they want to have something to present. So going out on social media 6 months, 12 months in advance, asking fans what they want for unlock tiers is not how they want to roll out the announcement of a new project. So maybe do it like this. Say, we have 3 different ideas for a Star Wars Black Series HasLab campaign. These are the 3 ideas. Run a poll with the fans on if any one of these 3 ideas was to be successful, what tiers would you want for option? The first option, what unlock tiers would you want for the second option, and what unlock tiers would you want for the third option? Then once you've collated that information and that data, fans still don't know which is going to be the next HasLab project because you've still got to decide amongst the 3. But you can sit there and go, okay, with that project, this is what they want. With that project, that's what they want. Then make an educated decision, because someone at Hasbro at some stage will have to make a decision, although it seems that everyone at Hasbro making decisions right now is making bad ones. But you can come up, you can select the project that you want to go with, then start doing all of your research and development, start getting concepts evolved, do some tooling, some modeling, whatever you've got to do for your big presentation. Do you not think, as a corporation that sells toys on the HasLab model to the adult consumer, do you not think the consumers will be so much more invested in the campaigns that you're launching when they have had some input? They've been given the opportunity to have their say. I don't know how true this is, but people tell me that Hasbro and maybe even, you know, some production companies in Hollywood don't like having fans of properties working for those properties. This is what happens with campaigns like this, when people who've probably never even watched Return of the Jedi came up with the ideas for the tiers. If they've watched it, they've maybe watched it once. They're not fans of it. If that is true, that is a corporate mindset, that you shouldn't put a G.I. Joe fan in charge of G.I. Joe Classifieds or a Star Wars fan in charge of Black Series, you really need to rethink your decision making there. Because a enthusiastic Star Wars fan would have told the decision makers at Hasbro long ago, these are not good choices for unlock tiers for a $350 Rancor toy. I hope Hasbro are listening. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. But I think my fellow collector, my fellow consumer of these products, did listen to an earlier video that I'd made and a video made by Retroblasting, because I'm starting to see the tide turn. And today, I want to end this video saying that I am extremely proud of my fellow collectors for telling this global corporation that they won't buy any of the crap they put out. There've been a lot of people in my YouTube comments upset with me for calling people who, you know, for saying that people who wanted the HasLab Rancor were dummies. That's not what I was saying. I was saying there are enough dummies in the world who would buy anything Star Wars because of the fear of missing out, because of the FOMO. I admitted in the same video that had this have been a $200 retail release toy, I would have bought one. I wasn't calling anyone a dummy for wanting to back the Rancor. But I'm incredibly proud of my fellow collectors for standing together, voting with a dollar. Unfortunately, there were 8,200 odd of us who still gave it a shot. But I think the vast majority of us said, no, this is not good enough. You've delivered on a few projects and you got lazy. And as a dear friend of mine, Laserpants, once said, these tiers for the HasLab Rancor were a slap in the face to collectors who have supported this line for 8 years. And my friend Laserpants was right. So if the consumers are starting to listen to people like myself and Michael here on this channel and on Retroblasting, I hope Hasbro starts doing the same. And to my fellow collectors who refuse to support this campaign, I salute you.
I'm Spartacus!
I'm Spartacus!
I'm Spartacus!
I'm Spartacus!
I'm Spartacus!
I'm Spartacus! I'm Spartacus!
I'm Spartacus!